What's up, guys? It's Rahul from the Chaos Gym. Today we're going to talk about my Virginia Regionals deck choice and, yeah, the tournament report, I guess. This is another episode of Road Worlds. I have a lot of points. Things changed with the whole structure thing. I got more points, and now we got more points. So, I did in fact finish. I will just go through the deck first, and then I'll go through my report, because it is a riveting tale of two days. So the deck I played was Decidueye by PLume. People wanted me to talk about my thought process behind picking my deck. So coming into the event, I thought Decidueye by PLume was the deck to beat. It was one of the best decks in this current format, and I do not believe that there's a better deck that has been so polarizing ever. In that regard, the only real counter is Mewtwo. So my good friend Ryan Sablehouse and I were talking, and he wanted to play Mewtwo. He was going to play Mewtwo in some capacity. And I was not confident that I was good enough with Mewtwo. And I wanted a deck that was, in some sense, autopilot once you figure out what you're doing, with some minuscule decisions. And that led me to Decidueye at about 4 a.m. after testing with my teammates in CCG Castle, Jimmy Pendarvis and Igor Costa, until about 3 a.m., where we decided that we would play this with the Mewtwo evolutions to have an answer to Mega Mewtwo's with Psychic, because we heard a lot of the Mewtwo's were cutting Garbodor, and Garbodor is the actual problem. Igor had made the last minute switch to play Regice in his build. You can check his list out online. But other than that, I did in fact play this build, and I'm very satisfied that I did. 2 Lugia as opposed to the Tauros, because I think Lugia is just strictly better. And other than that, the list is incredibly standard, and we didn't really change much in the list. So I'll jump into the report. Round 1, I played against Mega Ampharos. She was a newer player, first regionals, so I was able to take a quick 2-0 because she did not know what Vileplume did, and that was a bad sign for her. Round 2, I played against Mark McDonald. Game 1, I believe I set up and won. Game 2, he set up and won. It was Decidueye PLume mirror. Game 3, it came down to the position where he had 3 Decidueyes and I had 1, which meant that I was going to lose in the long run, as he could triple snipe for 4 straight turns to kill 2 Shamans, and I needed in any of those 4 turns to find a Lysander, because he was constant just chaining between his Decidueyes, so I could never one-shot anything. I was just like hitting him for like 90, hitting him for 90, hitting him for 90, like 90 snipe, 90 snipe, 90 snipe, and I like literally could not kill him. I was like, please give me a Lysander, and I had 2 in the deck, and I just could not find it on my 4 turns. I had to find it, and that led to my demise. So I took a quick early loss. I won 1. I played round 3 against Charlie Locklear playing Turbodark. Game 1, I did Decidueye things. Took a quick game. Game 2, he managed to... I stumbled on Vileplume, and he was able to get something going, and it came down to him having the Darkness Blade with Fighting Fury Belt on a Shaman to take the game. He had Lysander in hand, everything, and then game 3, I did Vileplume things, and it was over very quickly. Game 4, round 4, I played against... I played against Orion Craig playing Mega Mewtwo, or Basic Mewtwo, Garbodor. The concept of the deck was entirely Decidueye hate. It played 4 Wobbuffets, 2/2 Garbodor line with a bunch of Float Stones, only the basic Mewtwo, not the Mega, and it played Fighting Fury Belts, Max Elixirs, I think an Olympia, PCL. It was basically meant to give Decidueye the slowest, most painful death of their lives, in which it did. And I lost both games. And I went to 2-2. And so the road ahead of me was very tough. I had to win all 5 of my remaining games to move on to the next day. A single loss would eliminate me, a single tie would eliminate me. So this is where the start of my brilliant comeback comes in. And round 5, I played against a Mega Volcanion deck. My opponent was newer and did not, I believe, understand how to deal with the Decidueye matchup. And I was able to pretty much just like Lysander something fat and just snipe around and just win. And it was a quick 2 games. I'll say that. So I'm at 3-2. I'm up against Mega Rayquaza the next round. For rounds, I'm going to condense rounds 6, 7, and 8, because all 3 were against Mega Rayquaza, and my strategy was the exact same against all 3. They would pop off on turn 1. If they did not Hex, I would do my thing. I would pop off, and I would Lysander Hoopa. They would DC retreat and attack me for 150 because I had balanced their stadium. Then I would DC, and then I would retreat Lysander the Hoopa, and then I would Hollow Hunt the 2 Lysanders back, and they would DC retreat, and they would knock my Decidueye out. I would promote another Decidueye, and then I would Lysander Hoopa, and I would pass, and they would go DCE retreat 150, and then I would look at my hand, draw, and then I would go Lysander Hoopa, and us both to whatever cards, and they were out of DCs. And other than one of them who played Olympia, round 8 guy played Olympia, so it got a little shaky, but he did not, he like burned through his deck too quickly, and he was not hitting early energies to put pressure on me, which gave me enough time to set up. So I played against all 3 of them, Deontay, James, and George, all playing Mega Rayquaza, and the matchup just kind of becomes just that. It just becomes that, the Lysandering and the stalling and the knocking out of things. Shout out to Deontay because he's a homie. And other than that, yeah. And then round 9, I went up against Eric Gansman, a well-known player from the Hovercast TCG, in my win-in round. He was playing Volcanion, and he came after me for revenge from Puerto Rico. He sat down, flipped over Baby Volcanion, had a decent start. Not actually that good, actually. His opening supporter was a Fisherman. And then in my opening turn, I got double Decidueye PLume. And then he just was not finding energy, so he was just power heatering attacking me. So I just kind of pushed up a Lugia and just passed a bunch while I just sniped his bench and killed him. It just was very simple at that point because I doubled Decidueye and he was not finding energy. So he's power heating for 20 every single turn. I'm just like, okay, kill. Okay, kill. Okay, kill. And he had the Hoopa in his hand for a while, but he refused to bench the Hoopa because the moment he does, I can just Lysander that and the game's over anyway. Or if he benches an extra Volcanion, the game is over, simply. And then game 2, he had another decently slow start, but he had set up a little bit. He had some stuff on his field. Baby Volcanion again. And I did the exact same thing. I think a 1 PLume, 1 Decidueye this time. And then he knocked out something. And then I promoted Vileplume, and then I just started sniping for a little bit. And then he came up, knocked out my Vileplume. I promoted Lugia, set up an entirely new Vileplume out of hand because at this point I had an 18 card hand. And then I benched Lugia, and I had benched Lugia DCE as well, which I had Hollow Hunted for the turn before, and I had also Hollow Hunted for the end the turn before. So then I proceeded to end us both to 1 card, and he had the active Volcanion EX, and I had the Decidueye. I Hollow Hunted because he had attacked the turn before to knock something else out. So we now got both into 1 prizes. I retreat, give him the Lugia, hit him for 100, and I'm like, he has to find 2 fires to kill me. He does not find 2 fires to kill me. I think he manually retreats into the power heater guy, does the thing, and then I draw, and then I Lysander and I knock him out. Because even if he didn't do that, I would have had double snipes for 2 turns and the game is over regardless. Because he would have to find an energy off the top to power heater retreat, but he apparently would have had it. But it is what it is, and that was a pretty easy 2-0 on my part. So I'm 7-2 after ridiculous comeback moving into day 2. The deck wasn't really cooperating with me as much. I was Lysandering more than I was doing anything else, attacking even, and so now I'm in day 2. And I'm not confident in the deck whatsoever. I have to go 3-1-1 to move on to top 8. And I do not believe my chances are very high, but we said, whatever, let's go. And so round 1 I played against Michael Kanai, a very good friend of mine, playing Mewtwo Wobbuffet deck. And due to me just drawing pretty well, and him drawing pretty garbage, I got Decidueye set up under wall block. So the moment he retreated wall, I was just going to pop off. And that pretty much meant I won the series, 2-0. The round was streamed, I'm sure the meta deck will have it uploaded. So I moved to 8-2. Pretty good position to be in. Just need to win 2 more. I'm feeling good. I go up against Danny Altavilla. Danny pretty much God draws me with double 4 max elixir, 4 max elixir. It comes down to a point where I had the opportunity to deck him, but he pretty much has the 13th energy and another out to get out of the they'll just get out of the active spot, and I lose because he did not prize a single dark energy. Had he prized a single dark energy, I win the game, but he did not. And then The second game, I just did not have any cards that were playable, even though I went first, and I lost. Unfortunate loss for me. Moved to 8-3, and then we go up against Dave Richards. He's playing the Mewtwo All Fit deck as well. Game 1 comes down to a very close game where I have the baby Evo Mewtwo that can win the game for me, and I have 3 blanks in the deck. I think it was like a Dartrix, a Grass, and like a Decidueye, which were all the blanks, but I also had double Ultra Ball, double Shaman, like a Sycamore, and like 3 DCs or something, or 2 DCs. It was like, I had very few ways to whiff the Mewtwo Evo knockout, and I proceeded to do as such. And he took game 1, and then game 2 was a very close one that went pretty much to time, and I took it, and then we basically like did 1 turn into game 3, and time was called, so we took the tie. And so now I need to win both of my last 2 games. Round 4, I go up against, or 13 at this point, I go up against Main Ahmed, who ended up making top 8 with Volcanion, and he pretty much popped off, did everything he needed to do, and I said draw pass 2 games in a row pretty much. I like draw Ultra Ball something and pass. And then yeah, I just could not win that series. It was just unfortunate for me. And then round 14, I go up against Israel Sosa, who has fallen to the bottom tables with me. We were fighting for top 16 at this point. And Israel, game 1, it comes down to me being very smart with not knocking out anything that has EXP share on it, so I can just snipe it very carefully and not to activate the EXP shares. And then I end him to 1, and if he doesn't get something, if he doesn't get Lysander, I win. But he, his 1 card was Lysander, and ironically enough, his 2nd card that he would have drawn for turn was also Lysander. Therefore, I would have lost in 2 ways. And then, right, game 2, I did turn 1 Plume, and he lost. And then game 3, he did, like, he opened, like, Baby Yveltal, attach, pass. And then I went, like, draw, turn 1 Plume, pass. And he was like, okay. Hit you for 30, and then I was like, okay, attach to Lugia, DC 30, or 60, and then he goes draw, pass, and then I'm just like, okay, attach another energy knockout. So it was just like, it wasn't real games, and it's unfortunate that I beat Sosa again in that way, but I finished with 3 match points, finishing exactly 16th seed, getting 60 more CP, $500 more in 2 boxes. My pulse from boxes were pretty bad. I got a Lele and a gold Aqua Patch, and also got like Secret and Incineroar, but everything else is garbage. I have like 4 Wishy-Washies now and like 3 Toxapex and a Metagross and a Como, unfortunately for me. Other than that, I do not like this deck very much, but I can see how it is very good because it does punish players for playing poorly on the other end. Moving forward, this deck I think is not going to be very viable in standard format. I will be in Toronto next weekend playing Expanded. Seattle is super sketchy right now because tickets are very expensive. But I will more than likely be at Madison. And then I will more than likely be in Mexico. And I think I'll be at Origins for sure. And then Intercontinentals for sure. So that hopefully I can do another Road to Worlds. At that point, I'm at 717 points. I believe I will be in either 17th or 18th place in the rankings as soon as everything is updated. And I'm going to try to make my way back into the top 16. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's a short, brief video. There's not really much to talk about with Decidueye. Everyone knows everything there is to know about Decidueye. So I will, yeah, and check out ccgcastle.com and use promo code CCGTeam5. Get 5% off your next order. Buy Lycanrocs, buy Lele's. I'll do a buy list video later. But thank you guys so much.